I'm Dom,
And I'm Al.
and you're watching the Resilient Shift podcast. We have a super awesome episode for you guys today. We have Nick Page, owner of the Trainer Page here, and we're gonna pick his brain. Super entrepreneurial mind. Went through his own struggles recently, and we're gonna get into it and pick apart his mindset and learn what works for him, and maybe you guys can learn something too.
Hell yeah, let's go.
Right. So, Nick, you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah,
What got you here? Some of your
of course.
triumphs, success.
Yeah, so I guess start of the day I was born. No, I'm joking. No, I grew up. I was a lacrosse player my whole life, and that ninth grade of high school, that's when it got me into like training for fitness and stuff like that. Then senior year is when I got offered a opportunity to just train people and get into fitness. And it was always like for an athletic background, like training athletes. And then I luckily went away to school for a year in Florida, to play Division II lacrosse. And 2 months into that, I had this whole situation happen that completely, and it was all my fault. I was just an immature 17-year-old kid in college. And pretty much it completely messed with my head and mental health, where like I was having terrible anxiety, panic attacks, but I actually didn't understand like what was going on, which I feel like that was a benefit. I never labeled it, but I was just stressed and didn't know what to do. So that led me to gaining a bunch of weight, getting, using different outlets to kind of like escape myself, to try to cope with it. Didn't work out. And then I ended up going back into the gym by a friend of mine who would drag me there. And he basically taught me how to work out, not intentionally, but working out for myself, not for sports. So that was a huge pattern shift for me. And I realized in that experience, like, wow, all this anxiety or stress that I have is not here when I'm in the gym. You know what I mean? Like I can like use that negative energy in a positive outlet. And that completely shifted just how I thought about the gym, and I became obsessed with it. So I ended up leaving that college. I did get kicked out at the same time, but it didn't matter. And then I came home. So I started training again at that gym that I was at senior year for speed and agility, and working construction, going to community college. And I found myself just wanting to do something else. Construction, concrete, not fun. I'm very grateful for doing that. And that landed me realizing, hey, I can personal train people. I can make a little bit more money per hour than work construction. And I improved my mental health dramatically through fitness. Let me teach people that. And that was basically how it started. I ended up coming across an ad that was for how to start a personal training business. And it was like $6,000. That's all I had in my savings. But I was 18 or 19. I still lived at home. And I was like, well, if I lose this money, I can just make it back. I don't have anything to lose. So I did it. And that was started in 2018. And that's where I called it the Trainer Page. A lot of people don't know this, but because in 2017, when I was at Suffolk, I tried starting an online training thing.
Okay.
For a month, and I won't get into the details, but it was a complete failure. But that's where the name, the Trainer Page, came out, because my last name is Page. People used to call me Trainer Page. And then I was like, oh, the Trainer Page, like Instagram page, like this kind of works, I guess. So I stuck with that. Started as a personal training business. And that's when the world of personal development and mindset came into play. A very good friend of mine, Tyler, like gave me my first book, Millionaire Success Habits by Dean Graziosi. I didn't read it for a year, and then I finally did. And that's when I started dabbling into this mindset, personal development, mental toughness world. And I found that anytime I grew personally, my business grew. And fast forward, I transitioned the business into a large group training based studio. And, right now we reached a point where we have like just around 500 members. I have an amazing team of 11 individuals that run the day to day. And my obsession of business kind of came in that 2019 mark, and business, personal development. And then let me try mentioned what happened last year, right? And then basically, gratefully, because of the timing, last year in 2025, in March, I had leg pain from playing pickleball. Didn't think anything of it until my girlfriend dragged me to the doctors. They saw a little, it looked like a little rock in my fibula on my right side. So that raised a couple, questions, but every doctor was like, it's fine. Don't worry about it. It might be a cyst in your bone. It shouldn't be an issue. Fast forward, it ended up being, I ended up getting diagnosed with undifferentiated pleomorphic sarcoma. So it's bone cancer in my fibula. So then May 15th, which is my girlfriend's anniversary, I had 5 inches of my fibula removed. So the cancer was removed, but then I had to go through chemotherapy for 27 weeks. It's called the MAPS protocol, which is treated for osteosarcoma, which is very common, especially, unfortunately, children. And I went through chemo from June all the way to December 30th is when I rang the bell. And now we're on the road to recovery. So, but the timing couldn't have been better because I didn't stress about my business. And, if this happened prior, I don't know what the hell I would have done. So, and now we're here. So,
What was it like dealing with a diagnosis? Because I know how I felt about my diagnosis, although I was a kid, super unsudden.
yeah.
I wasn't expecting anything of it.
So what happened was, ironically enough, my girlfriend 2 years prior to last year, so 3 years ago, she actually had a bone tumor in her pubic ramus, being like in her pelvis, basically. It was benign though. But it was a rare thing called an osteoblastoma. Hers looked irregular. So she had all the signs that doctors were like, this isn't good, but it ended up being benign. She got it removed and then it reoccurred. So she had to then she went from working with Northwell to going to Memorial Sloan Kettering, and then had another procedure. Yep. And then it's been good ever since. So she's been through that. And then when my whole thing came up, I personally am I didn't want to look into the what ifs when this happened.
Absolutely.
I literally did no research. The only thing I did was I took a picture of my leg when I had the pain and circled it with the edit pen. And I asked ChatGPT, what is this pain? And it literally was it's probably a strain in your muscle. It's funny because I found the ChatGPT thread. But when I went to Stony Brook when this all started and they did the biopsy. The entire time I thought, worst case, I just needed surgery. Mm-hmm. So I was calm as a cucumber.
I was there too.
Yeah, calm as a cucumber. I'm what's surgery? You don't need your fibula if you don't know that. You generally don't need your fibula to survive. That's where the doctors are it's in the best bone possible for the scenario, because unfortunately a lot of people need amputations. I connected with a kid same age as me who had this pretty much same diagnosis in his knee, and he had to get his leg cut off, crazy stuff.
Yeah.
So when the doctor came in with his team after the 3 weeks of the biopsy, again, even though the biopsy took longer than normal, I still was okay, surgery. What's the harm in some surgery, right? And he came in with his team and he was they classified it as osteosarcoma, but then MSK defined what it really was.
Yeah.
So he's you have osteosarcoma. So even when he said that, you have cancer, I was cool. Okay. And then he's and this is where it completely shifted. He's prepare for the hardest year of your life. You're going to have to go through one of the most intense and time-intensive chemotherapies a human can go through for this specific cancer. And that's when it was even now, I just got the same feeling. It's whoa, what the heck? You just are confused. There's no understand. And I mean, not gratefully, but my sister had Hodgkin's lymphoma during COVID. Oh, wow. So she went through chemo. But gratefully, Hodgkin's lymphoma is so there's a 99% chance of survival. So it's chemo and then you're good. And she's been good ever since. Clean scans, everything good. But I wasn't even during COVID, I was dealing with the gym. No one could be with her during treatment. So like you know, didn't really know what she went through, but like it wasn't like it was foreign to me because some people have no idea and understand. I mean, I still like at the time I didn't know what chemo does exactly. But to answer your question, it was just like you're just confused. I think you're like, what? Like there's no words. And then you kind of have to just kind of just figure it out. Like, all right, like there's nothing I can do to change the situation. So I got to control what I can control and go do what these doctors tell me. And, but once they told me that, I went right to MSK and then, which gratefully was because my girlfriend's doctor, she had a call with, this is just a crazy little story, like right in between my biopsy, when we were waiting, she had a call, just a standard scan call with her doctor. And shout out to Dr. Santos. She told him what was going on with me. He literally called the woman, who Dr. Morris, who did my surgery. It was a Friday afternoon. They got me an appointment with Dr. Morris that Monday. So like, and she's the chief, I don't even know technically thing. And then that put me with the top doctors of MSK. Like, so if it wasn't for her, like I wouldn't have had the ability to like see those doctors either, which was just crazy. So, but I guess it was just kind of like, all right, this was not, and the crazy part was in 2025, like me and Gabby, I keep saying my girlfriend, Gabby, we made like vision boards and like, I was like 2025 is my year, like our year. Like I had this plan. I was locked in. I was dialed in. And then like, it just completely shifted. And I was like, I think the day they told me was literally April 20. I'll never forget. I was like, worst day of my life. April 29th. That's when the news broke. And it was like, what is happening right now? So yeah. So, and you can relate.
Absolutely. Yeah. A lot of the same feelings. I was a kid, so it was a little bit more, I guess, not as like shock.
How old were you?
I was 11 when I got diagnosed.
So that's like, because during my whole treatment, now, when I was in the city, I had to be in the pediatric unit. So like we joked around, like I look like Buddy the Elf in this pediatric unit, right? But it's super humbling being in the, I mean, the shit you see, right? When you see an 11-year-old though, and they say like, usually when it's like a baby, like 1 to 3 or 4, they're like, as sad as it is, they're not really going to remember any of this. Yeah. But when you're 11, you remember everything. Like, you know what I'm saying? So that's crazy. And that also too, honestly, helped with my perspective. I'm like, I feel so terrible, but at least I'm not that age. You know what I mean? Like, cause it's messed up. Sorry, I cut you off, but that's
right. Yeah. In a way, I feel like compared to your story, there was a lot of unknowns that I didn't know about.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure there was with you too.
Yeah.
But that also kind of like guarded me in a way from, what was going on. And I just had to take everything on like a occurrence basis.
Yeah. No, cause also it's right. And yours was, it's like, and that's the thing, like the difference between ours is like, mine was like, that's the thing. Mine was, the cancer was removed. Like the tumor, the reason why I got chemo was all preventative. They were like, if you don't get chemo, because technically I could have said no. Yeah. They're like, there's a 80% chance something reoccurs. They're like, but if you do get chemo, we're going to nuke your entire body and cells. So we can hopefully kill potential floating cancer cells. And your chances of reoccurrence go down to 10% or less based on my situation. That is not your case. Like,
no,
mine, you know what I mean? Like,
my tumors, they biopsied them in my brain, but they weren't removed.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Really biopsied it to like concur that it was cancer.
Yeah.
So
no, it's that. Yeah. Like and that's where like knowing his story and also too, like hearing other people's situations, like, and one thing people are, I'm very big with like, it could always be worse.
Sure.
And some people are like, they don't, when I say that, they're like, well, you still have to embrace what you went through, which I understand, but like, it could still be way worse. And I think people sometimes like underestimate that. Like, yeah, I know my situation's bad. Like the treatment sucked and whatnot, but like, there's always a worse situation that you don't want to be in, honestly. So I had that perspective, like for the most of the time. I thought of your situation. I was like, like I'm grateful that it wasn't like something to that extent where, like I'm not, I researched even more what you had to understand it better. I was like, that's fucked up. You know what I'm saying? But like, like it's more than what people realize. So,
Sure. And I think there's something to be said for stepping out of the mentality you were talking about and kind of just locking into the fact that like this could be a lot worse.
yeah.
Right.
No, you gotta have a little like, it's like people, it can be optimism, but it's also a little bit delusion. Like there's like this like switch that some people have. I remember one day, like I'll talk to myself, like probably like people probably think I'm a psychopath, but like I'll talk to myself and it's like, I'm like, okay, like, God, universe, like you want to test me with this? Like what you said, like I'm nails. You know what I mean? Like I'm nails. Like don't yeah, and I think some people don't even have that thought process, honestly. So seeing some people go through treatment, I mean, I just wanted to keep myself occupied. I was working and it wasn't like I had to work. I just wanted to work. Like I'm not just going to sit there and rot for 8 hours. And I'd see some people in their rooms. I felt bad. I almost wanted to walk in their room and be like, hey, like, and MSK at the pediatric, they'll have like these like clowns walking and like low key, they're kind of creepy and like walking and be like, I'm not a clown, but I think I can entertain you a little bit more.
Having those like childlike people and like the clowns come in used to grind my gears.
Yeah.
I was probably such like a little brat.
Yeah.
Just get away from
Yeah.
like bring me a bag of chips. Like stay out of my.
That's funny. But no, it was yeah, I saw there's a lot, even how they handle some stuff, and like even when it comes to like nutrition, and there's a lot of stuff that I'm like, I actually think I want to be involved with MSK and try to give them like some input and stuff, because nutrition is a big component to like just for not even cancer, but I mean yes and no, but even just alone with like how your body's going to handle the chemo. Like there's a lot to it that they don't prep you for. And I had to do a lot of own research, and some people just do what the doctors say. And sometimes it's not, I don't want to say what the doctor says is wrong, but there could be a better way that the doctors just don't understand because they don't learn it. It's like sad, but
yeah, that was something that I really never got to focus in on like during my time of treatment was like nutrition. And like, I don't know if it probably wasn't like this for you, but like one of like my outlets, like after I'd go to an appointment, we'd get food.
Oh, dude.
Like whatever I wanted. And I never, and like I was so young, I had a problem keeping weight on. Like at the time.
I remember, yeah, you were skinny.
Yeah. So I was just
at that
like,
point,
my parents were like, eat whatever you want.
Yeah, no.
I was eating steak dinners every night.
Hell yeah.
It was awesome. But I never really got to focus in on that kind of part, I guess, of the journey.
I think that's sort of like the nutrition is such a broad thing, because like in that situation, I'd be like, eat whatever you want type of thing. But then there's like, for example, like I saw this mom post of, fortunately her daughter has osteosarcoma, and or no, I don't think it was some other form of cancer, and it came back or something really sad. And through chemo, like people either lose weight or they gain weight. I gained weight, but I also too, I love food. Like I can eat. Your boy has a big boy appetite. And that's the thing. On my off weeks, I just said I'm eating whatever the hell I want, plus not doing any activity or working out. My body just like stored fat. Like
absolutely,
it was no one's business. But this young girl, the mom took a picture and she's in treatment, and what's on her thing? It's like a Coca-Cola, 2 candy bars, like just sugar.
That was me.
Yeah. And like in certain situations, it's like, okay, they need the food, eat it. But then there's other sides where it's like, like people even commenting on the Facebook, like maybe don't give her all that stuff. Like you can tell like she's not the healthiest. Like it was just, so there's a lot to that part. But
let me ask you a question though, because this was a big thing when I was in treatment. So I never had a port through my treatments.
Really?
I was IV the whole time. So my treatments were a week.
Yeah.
And then I'd have like the rest of the month off.
Yes.
I'd go back the next week.
Yeah.
So I'd get an IV. I'd go home. I'd leave it for those 5 days.
Got it.
Which was absolutely brutal. But I mean,
oh my God,
I was kind of like able to be somewhat like normal.
Yeah.
To like being a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I was in treatment. But one thing for me is, like the protocol, they come in, they gotta, I don't know if they have to do this with the port. They have to like check to make sure it's working. Like, so like the flushes and the saline.
Yeah.
Still the same thing.
Yeah.
I used to get the worst like taste in my mouth
From the
from the
saline?
saline?
So luckily I would,
I
but
hear some people have it, some people don't.
so for my so out of port. If you don't know what a port is, some people don't know what a port is.
Yeah,
I like
that's true.
it's basically I know because like my sister had one, so I knew what it was.
Yeah, yeah.
Instead of having an IV, like Dom was just saying, depending on the chemo and how frequently you're getting the chemo, like with two of the chemos out of the three I got, there was a risk that if I got it through an IV, if it leaks out of my blood vessel, it can burn to your bone, like, which is like insane. So they're like, so we put this device in your chest, like right under your skin, and they connect it to your main artery of your heart.
How was that having that? Because
It
I've never
when, I mean, it feels like two like those like silver batteries, like
Yeah.
in like little toys,
Yeah.
like calculators. That's
Okay.
literally what it feels like under your skin. But when they access it, it almost looks like a big, like not a bobby pin, but like a big pin that they just stick in
through your skin.
through my skin. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it goes right into the center of the port,
Okay.
and then that's where they have to flush it. But the problem is sometimes if they don't access it correctly, then that means they need to be able to flush the saline and pull blood.
Yep.
If they can't pull
Brutal.
blood,
Hate that
and
term blood.
yeah, and
Out of my face.
yeah. So it ended up being so for my treatment specifically, the reason why they say it was intense is because I would be in treatment for 4 days, Monday through Thursday, sometimes Monday through Friday, 3 weeks in a row for 8 hours a day.
Wow.
So I joked around, like at this point I was at MSK Comac, and luckily 2 or 3 of our members work there.
Oh,
so it was our client Keith, Christina, Deborah, and like they saw me, and like I didn't tell when this whole thing happened. I didn't tell anyone basically. So they all saw me, and they're like, "Hey, Nick," and I was just like, "Hey," but I will say because like they work in that unit of oncology, like they were just so like not reactive to the situation. They were just so like, "Hey, what's going on?" And it's like, "Yeah, I'm going to this." And they're like, "Okay," like which will actually like help me be like,
sure.
they're so used to this, like this is normal, which is not, but it is for them. Versus how some other people react when they hear cancer. They're like, they'll start crying. Or like, and it's like you just sit there like, ah.
Have you had that happen to you yet? Where you've been telling someone about like what you've gone through and they start crying?
Probably.
That happened to me a few times, and it's the most uncomfortable thing in the world.
Yeah, like I think when I eventually told a few people, they would tell me that they told others, and those other people that like I don't even have that close a relationship with, but I knew were crying.
But have you had it happen like in front of you?
Yeah, but it was like kind of family and stuff, so I wasn't like too surprised by it. But I think I've been in so many situations now with people crying in front of me, and I'm like, yeah, like I did not handle it. But with the port, like I would have to go home for the 2 out of 3 weeks with an IV backpack. So that would be connected to my port because 2 weeks in a row, I'd get the chemo infused on Monday.
Okay.
And then they'd let it like sit in my body and do its thing.
Really?
And then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I would go into treatment and they would just flush me out. They would have to so they were tracking how much of the chemo was in me and then I would clear once that level hit under 100. So
see, mine was never like that.
Yeah. So it was like totally like, and I would have to drink water. And the thing was, if I cleared on a Thursday, I had more days of not being in treatment. If I didn't clear, I'd have to go home again with the IV backpack. So that was annoying because I'd have to shower with it. Like my girlfriend literally had to shower me because like I could get it wet, but like, you know what I mean? Yeah, it just sucks. So the port was convenient, but when I used to go get like my blood work on my 1 off week to see where my white blood counts were, they'd be like, "Oh, we're gonna do your port." I'm like, "Absolutely not!" Like just take the 1 vial from my arm.
Yeah.
So that was it was definitely though I will say it was I guess more convenient, but they would give me like lidocaine and stuff. So like I didn't have I will say once they stick the needle in you because there's 2 as well. Like my girlfriend almost fainted the first time they and she's like not like that, but she like almost passed out because she's like, it just looks like they're sticking a needle in your chest. And she's like, it's all new to us. But yeah, that was definitely the port though would cause issues because if it wasn't accessed properly, I had to get this medication, I would delay my treatment. It was just a whole thing. So
yeah, mine not so much that intricate, but like there would be sometimes where like I would have my IV put in on like a Monday, I would get it at the beginning of the week. Then like Wednesday they would do it, wouldn't be able to get blood return. It would slip out of my vein.
Oh my God.
The saline pulled my arm. And like honestly, like, worst case scenario, we were talking about, like, could it be worse? Like, all they had to do was give me a new IV.
Yeah, but
But,
no,
like, in that
it's
moment, you're
in the
like,
moment, like when
see
they would say like we have to reaccess you, that means I have to pull the needle out and redo it. I was like, you got to be kidding me! Like,
did you, like, find a few nurses that, would hit the
oh,
one
shout out to Michelle in Nassau. Like, I know
Yep.
I know Michelle in Nassau was the one that,
Diane at Norfolk?
yeah, no, like there
Wizard.
were
Wizard with the needle.
all of the nurses in the city in MSK that work at the pediatric unit were really good because they were freshly trained, and the problem is most adults only have one port, like a single port. Any kids have dual ports.
Oh, okay.
I forget the main reason, but for me, they were able to have the chemo and another medication at the same time. But when an adult oncologist who never worked in peds saw that there were, oh, that was weird. Saw that there was a dual port, they'd like look at me like I had four heads, and they'd be like, "Oh, I can't do this." Or even with my treatment, being in an adult treatment center, if the oncologist never had experience with peds, that they would look at my thing like they have no idea. So I ended up having consistently like the same nurses, which was nice.
Yeah.
Like shout out to
No,
Millie.
that's awesome.
Shout out to, I won't name them all, but
Too many.
yeah, there's too many. There was like a group though. They knew what, so, and
There
I'd
you
be there for 8 hours on a meeting screaming in the room because I don't realize how loud I talk sometimes. And they were just like, they're like, yeah, you're good. but yeah, the port was definitely something interesting, but it's out now and I got this
There we go.
badass scar. Looks like I got stabbed. That's what the nurse was telling me. He's got it removed. He's like, just told me you got stabbed. I'm like, yeah, great. Yes.
All right, now I want to pivot to kind of your entrepreneurial side of things, the businesses you built. For our viewers who don't know, Nick actually trained me when I was going through chemo, like a million years ago at this point.
I know, that was right. That was, how old were you? You were,
I was like 12,
13?
13.
Yeah, it was fresh. Yeah, it's funny because when I first was told, yeah, you're going to train, because I forgot was it through Talia?
I don't even know how it happened.
Oh, no, your dad knew the Andriases
yeah,
because of construction.
Yeah,
So,
I know that. And then my buddy was going there for like,
yeah,
for a little
yeah, because there was a lot of station kids. So that's when he was like, yeah, this kid Dom's coming and like he has cancer. And I was like, oh, like, whoa. Like, and he's like, just like, you just wanted to move, like do something, like build muscle. And Dom came in, he was just quiet kid, and his brother came, and his brothers didn't shut up. But no, your brother was always
Yeah, I don't think.
Oh no, your
I
brother
started
came
coming,
after.
My
Yeah.
parents made him go like after me, and then
Yeah.
we went together for a bit.
A little bit. And then
Yeah.
but then it was, I remember there were times where you didn't come because it was like you're in treatment or you weren't feeling good. But then when Don came, it was like, oh nice, Don's here. And it's like we just like work out, honestly.
Yeah.
It was just to like
It was cool.
Yeah, it was fun.
Speaking of working out, I got something to show you, and I want you to react to them live.
All right.
We're gonna throw these up on the screen and post.
Oh shit. Oh yeah, you were quick with it. That's just crazy. Yes.
Got home too.
That's so, you gotta send this to me. I have not seen this. Yeah. Yeah.
It's the best one.
This one's my favorite.
Let's do it. Let's go. My Jeep Cherokee, baby. Come on. Wow, I have not seen this in a lot. I haven't seen this since I took it, probably.
Yeah.
No, I knew you felt like a badass after this one.
Yep. That's awesome.
Yeah, you were moving good. Oh my God. Yeah, there's so many things like that. I don't even remember. That's crazy.
Yeah.
You were feeling good then.
Yeah, I mean, I was still in treatment.
Yeah, that's crazy. Just the fact you were moving like that during treatment, I'm like, holy shit.
I always felt like I always felt like I was able to move. So it honestly really discouraged me. Like when I got back into competition and like I wasn't.
Yeah,
because I wasn't like at the level that I thought I should.
Even when you just brought up that we started training, like my first memory was, I feel like when you came in, you were just a little like, just like sluggish because you were shot.
Oh yeah.
But then even seeing
Absolutely.
that, I'm like, oh no, you got after it. Like, and I'm like, oh yeah, like we got
I
after it.
remember. I think it was. I remember going home as a kid like this day, like feeling like Superman. We were in there, whatever, and like my mom and dad came to like pick me up and like we were training. I remember like Mark like talking to like my parents and like he's a different breed. And I'm like, how do you
No,
yeah.
because I think
But that was nice to hear that.
no, because what would happen was we would train you, right? Like you would do that. And we would train these other kids, and some of these other kids are spoiled. They're like, they had nothing in them and they're the same age. And it was like, this kid's literally going through cancer chemotherapy right now. And look what he's like doing in a workout. And then these other kids are just complaining. It's a real perspective shift. And then it even like fires like that would like fire me up. Like, what's my at the time? It's like, what's my excuse? Like, you know what I mean? Like this
Yeah,
kid is just
you do reps with me.
hell yeah. Yeah.
We listen to Mike Stubb. You were so surprised to listen to
Yeah.
Mike Stubb.
Yes. That was yeah, because that was what, 2017, 28, 20, probably 2017.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that was like
Because how old are you now?
that was like I'm 22 now. You're listening to that like before like Swish came out.
Yeah, like that was like 2016, no, 27, it's like probably 2016, 2017. That was yeah, that was I will say the training, like those training sessions were always like I never viewed it as work. Like
Yeah.
even during like that time, like I when I started my uh the trainer page, like personal training, I hired a trainer or two to like train with me, but I would still have to train DNA clients. I only got paid $12 an hour at DNA.
Ooh.
And I would pay my trainers 15, and sometimes I would pay them to train the DNA, and I technically lose money, but I didn't care. Like even with that, I was like, like I love this training. Like, even though I'm not getting rich off it, like
Yeah.
but it was always just like mad fun. Or we played like DNA soccer, like,
Yeah, we did.
yeah.
I think we did that. So I was doing it and then I got off treatment and then I had to go back. And we did that on my last session.
Yes, that's what it was. You came in and you were going, and then it was like, yeah, no, Dom's not coming back. And it was like, I feel like I remember it like vividly. You came in and you were just like excited, but also you tell I was down. I was like, yeah, we're gonna have some fun, brother. Like, I don't care.
Yeah, I think you and Mark were there.
100%. Yeah, no. Because Mark, I will say that time, that's when he was definitely there more than towards the end.
I had more sessions with you though. There was only a few times. I remember like Mark would walk in and I'd be like, oh my God, I'm in for it.
During that timeline, like basically like I trained I did everything for the most part. But yeah, those are the days. That's crazy. Because I was what? I think I was 9. I was probably
I think you had like just gotten back.
Yeah, exactly. I was 18, 19 years old. Damn. So I was like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Because I'm turning 29 this year, which is crazy. I don't want to talk about it.
But now we are in Nick's new gym right now. You let us set up here for the pod and tell us a little bit about that and kind of getting into this space and honestly just growing your entire business empire.
Yeah. So pretty much, one of the biggest things that like, as you like the sign, like sweat therapy, like if I could call the business that name, I was going to rebrand it Sweat Therapy. And then I got a cease and desist by a gym in Florida that's called Sweat Therapy.
Really?
Yeah. I reached out to them and I said, hey, can I buy the rights to your trademark and still license it out to you in Florida? And then I can just use it in the rest of the 49 states. Cause I found out the owner was like in his 80s and he had like single location. I'm like, okay, like they ain't going anywhere. And when I think they thought I was trying to buy their business, which I was like, I'm just trying to buy the rights to your name. Like, and I was trying to, listen, when you're in a negotiation, you don't offer your highest price. And I think I offered them like $3,500. They're like, I literally remember the old guy on the phone. He was like, I'm not selling my business name for $3,500. I'm like, okay, so throw me a number back. And then next thing you know, because they went on my website, I got a cease and desist in the mail, but it's fine.
But you're still able to use it now, like
well, because I technically I then went on and I got all the other, because with trademarks, not that this is important, but there's classifications for trademarks. So that's why there can be like 2 different companies in totally different industries with the same name, because it's not it's not a what's the word I'm looking, like a compete,
Yeah.
it does a conflict of interest. So anyways, sweat therapy though is like the pinnacle of like, we call it our core purpose in our team. Like our core purpose is to show our members the mental benefits of working out along with the physical, because a lot of times the gym is very intimidating. A lot of people are, you know, right now, if you were to go to like our Instagram page, you'll see the community, the vibe we give off, like the results we deliver, the type of people we work with. Um, there's a ton of other, gyms that, people would say is our competition, but it's a bunch of like hot guys and girls shirtless working out. Like, and our whole thing is like, we want the people that see that and go, absolutely not. And then come to us because it's a more like beginner friendly, just more welcoming, non-judgment zone. So that definitely helped us. I mean, that's why people were so loyal in the beginning and really, were invested in, wanting to work with me. And then, eventually the small team that we built. So I was originally, and in the video you saw where Dom was at, I took over like half of that facility and turned it into my own. And then in February of 2020, I found this location, which used to literally be another gym years ago called Team Extreme. And it was through a client that I found this spot. And I was like, it wasn't, I used to tell people all the time, like, oh yeah, we outgrew the old location. Like that was not the case. Like I just knew we weren't going to be able to grow at that old location. We were right next to a dumpster, the front door. We like didn't have direct access to a bathroom. I had to like tell people to park in specific spots. It was just like, there was no heat or AC. It was a complete, like, I went to a business event surrounded by a lot of like, in California, by all these like successful gym people at the time. And I just had a moment of like, we're not going to grow here. So I risked it. I found this location and we went through COVID, yes, it sucked, but if COVID happened now at this scale we're at, that's where I'd understand why it's like you stress the hell out because you're like, what am I supposed to do? At the time, we were so small, I was able to like, figure things out and stay afloat. And then after COVID, we reopened doing more large group training and personal training. Fast forward to 2023, I was like, you know what? I don't like the personal training model. And at that time, that's when I really got into more business. Like I love business. That's my obsession. I could talk about business all the time. And I realized there's a book called The One Thing, and it's about, you don't have to read the book. It's about doing one thing and one thing only and focusing on that one thing directly. So I said, we're going to do large group training only and become the most dangerous large group training studio there is, from a systems operations standpoint. So we slowly fizzled out the 101s. We just told, if people inquired, we told them we don't do it anymore. We let like the 101s we had kind of fizzle out. We transitioned into all large group. And then, like in 2023, I also sought out more like coaching from, he's one of my best friends now. This guy, Matt, he owned like, before he just sold it for 8 figures, his 7 Orange Theories that were like some of the top Orange Theories in the nation. Like he knew the gym business, and I learned a lot from him.
What's his name?
Matt Kafora. And basically he taught me how to like design systems and processes and leadership and all that stuff. So in 2023 to 2024, we grew by like 300%. And then 2024 to 2025, I don't know the exact percentage, but like, and I don't say this all the time, but like we crossed like we hit like that 7-figure revenue standpoint where, for me, it was a big, like that was always been the end goal. And, and even to be able to do that while I was in treatment, just kind of played into the team that we have because we do everything based off our 5 core values. So every decision, hiring, firing people, like any action, criticism, praise, it's all around like our 5 core values, which is like being dedicated to the sweat, putting in work, OAD, obsessive attention to detail, having fun, and taking extreme ownership. So like any decisions we make always go through that. And then, it's kind of stemmed from like the top down. But, and I'm trying to think of it. With the gym, like I always just had a focus on online marketing and social media. which definitely has played a role. Because even with us, like we're in a basement of a building, we're not in a storefront. So some people look at that as a negative, but realistically, I look at it as like a positive, just because. I mean, it's just. I mean, I don't know if I look at it as a positive, but rent's not as much as the storefront. So, but things like that. So, but yeah, now we're just cruising, and we just keep, taking the steps as we go.
Very nice.
Do you think you would have gotten as into it? Because I know you mentioned in the beginning of the episode you had anxiety, no one really to help you. You kind of were naive to the anxiety, used maybe not the best outlets.
Yeah.
Back then, had you had maybe support, do you think you would have had a different path?
Yes. So during that time when I was like at my lowest, like, which was actually like right towards the end of my first semester in college. So like I was just trying to distract myself by going out partying, I was dabbling in drugs. Like I was just being reckless, honestly. And if it wasn't for my buddy, AJ Ferraro, he transferred in his second semester and he was from the Naval Academy.
Wow.
And he's from Florida, 6'3". I'm 6'3", but at the time I wasn't. Jack, handsome tan dude, right? And like really funny kid, but he was like obsessed with the gym. And we just like, I don't know, we just kind of like hit it off. And like he also like kind of saw what I was going through, and he knew, and I think I maybe opened up to him about some stuff. So he really like took me under his wing with the gym, and he was at the time like he really idolized The Rock. And The Rock's gym's called Iron Therapy.
Yeah.
So he was like, "Yo, let's go Iron Therapy." Like there was Snapchat. Like he would sneak into my room because my one suite mate would always leave their door unlocked at like 7 a.m. and squirt a Gatorade water bottle on me to wake me up. Like it was the worst wake up call ever. And he'd be like, "Yo, we're going to work out." And it got to the point where we work out like 2 to like we would work out in the morning, we work out at night, and then we'd technically work out a third time after practice because we had to with our team lifts. So he really was the one that showed me like and would drag me to the gym, where that's where like I fell in love with it. So I have plans like, down the future when, if money's really good, like I owe that guy a lot. And so, if I have a brand new pickup truck, I will, type thing. So he really was like, and I've told him this a bunch of times, like he had a huge impact on me. And if he wasn't there, I don't know. Honestly, I was also having thoughts of dropping out of college and joining the concrete union, which there's nothing wrong with it. But at the time, like it was for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was a huge, person that had that impact on me without even realizing it. You know what I mean? It was like kind of like the universe just like did its thing. And then my mom knew I was going through it. So she would just always be like, distract yourself. Like, but there's only so much you can do when I was in Florida. And then, yeah, that was probably like, once I came home, like I'll never forget, like I think it was probably the second day, probably the morning of the day I came home, like the next day, I was sitting on my front porch and I was just looking like I live on a cul-de-sac. And I just felt like, when it's like a black and white and like the color comes on the screen. Like, I don't know. I just had this moment of like, all the stuff that happened in Tampa is in the past now. And now I'm like, I'm good. Like that, like it's all in the past. So, yeah, shout out to my buddy AJ. He definitely had a huge impact on that for sure.
That's awesome. Do you think a lot, like if say you didn't have AJ, the stigma with being an athlete and going through mental health issues, did that play into it at all? I guess like not asking for help and needing someone to come to you.
Oh, yeah, like like you're saying, like how it could have resulted. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, it could have been really bad. Just because, I mean, being on a team, bunch of college kids, and also too, I mean, some of these you learn, like there were seniors that were 24 years old, which at the time, like now that I'm 28, and when I was 24, I was like there's this one, I'm not gonna say his name, but like I remember, like I'm like, you were 24 years old. Like at the time, you looked up to him, and you're like, oh, this guy's the man. He's 24. Like he thinks he's the man. And then you're like, what a loser. Like, I'm sorry. Like, dude, you're like hanging out with a bunch of 18, 19-year-olds, like trying to be the man. Yeah, look, seeing the shift. But anyways, like in the college, man, like I honestly, unfortunately, had no one to really like open up. The only time I was able to open up to someone about what I was going through was because of the situation that happened 2 months into being at school. Instead of getting expelled from the school, I had to, and because I was playing so good at lacrosse at the time, the athletic director was able to like not let the president of the school want to kick me out. And they were basically said, okay, instead of kicking him out, he's going to get hit with every single um, possible like punishment there is. So one of the things I had to go to one-on-one AA meetings. And when I went to these meetings with this woman who was basically like a social worker, I actually like opened up to her about all of what I was going through. And she was just like, well, I'm happy you're able to talk about it. And I'm ahead. I was like, I feel good, but I like I haven't been able to talk to her. So unfortunately, like, and that's a whole other thing. And, you know, when it comes to men specifically, I think with mental health, like no one talks about it still, even though you have all these big people, like I like the UFC, like Patty Pimlet, Patty the Batty, like he talked about it. Like, but I think it like, even honestly, just talking about it, whenever it comes up, I'm always like, can I do more with it? Like, can I do something with sweat therapy for specifically men's mental health? Just because unfortunately, and to your question, there isn't really, much support or help around it because there's, you know, these negative masculine connotations around it, which, um, it's really sad, but you know, I think there's definitely progression there, but, no, if there wasn't AJ, I really, really, really don't know what, um, I think my buddy Zach, shout out to Zach Harnett, he would have probably picked up on it, but he was also going through his own stuff in the beginning. So who knows?
Yeah,
But
I think that there's something to be said for like the way I looked at it, or the way I guess developed to look at it is like, 'cause I was a senior. I grew up playing sports on
yeah,
guys.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you know how it is.
No,
Like,
yeah.
what's mental health, right?
Yeah, no.
But the way that I've kind of reframed my thinking now is my like mental health is directly correlated to my mindset, right? And just like, you know, that video that I made a long time, I'm next.
Yeah,
How did I
yeah.
get there, right? It's like
Yeah.
my mental health is directly correlated to how much of a dog I can be in my mindset.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I look at it, and maybe try that too if you're struggling with it.
No, I think, and I think I will say I feel like because of social media and stuff, there obviously is a ton of negatives to it, but the positives are like people are hearing things that are helping. Like sometimes like quotes and little things like that, like even those like audios.
Yeah.
Like I have a ton of those audios saved, right?
Yeah.
Like Conor McGregor going off, like, you know, just
Yeah.
people saying certain stuff. Um, and I think that like people are starting to realize that like I'm a big follower of Andy Frisella, the CEO of First Form, and he has his podcast Real AF. He started the MSCEO project. Now he has an app called the Operating Standard, and his whole mission is personal excellence is the ultimate rebellion. And but he also coming from his whole story, like it's also about like usually when you're in a state of not the best mental health, that doesn't mean your actions aren't correlating to like growth or like a purpose.
Yeah.
So, you know, shifting that gear and having the mindset. But unfortunately, some people think it's corny. They actually don't understand it, or they have no understanding or never hear anything of it. And yeah, I think social media like has a lot to play in a factor because then they also compare themselves and then they get envious, like, because there's jealousy and there's envy, like, and there's two different, like, people are jealous, like, it's not a positive thing, but, sorry, I'm like blabbling about it, but no, the mental health, it definitely correlates to mindset and just like understanding your like self-worth and your purpose, but not actually comparing it to other people because most things online are fake. People don't believe most things you hear or say because that kid driving a Lamborghini, posting on his Instagram, it's a rental. Trust me. I've been around a lot of those people. So, but yeah.
What's something you learned about yourself through all of this? Or maybe most recently going through chemo?
Good question. I love a good question. I think when this all came about, I knew deep down, like I've been prepared for something like this.
Mhm.
And it was more of I didn't have any doubt in my mind that like, I just knew like I can get through it. And I had that moment where it was like, okay, you want to test me? Like, you don't know who you're messing with type of, like, you know what I mean? Like, you gotta get like little, that like switch happens. But I think one thing that was when I actually, going back to when I first started the business, that's when I really started getting into like personal development. I started reading books like about business, like Grant Cardone, Dean Graziosi, and a lot of these guys talk about being grateful and how important being grateful is. And one thing they always used to say was, "Oh, I'm grateful for my health." And I don't know, like since then, I always had this like weird stigma, like I was like, I'm grateful for my health, but I don't need to say it. So like I wasn't low key grateful for my health. Like I would like be like, I don't need to say that. Like I wasn't grateful for my health, like pretty much. And this whole situation like really opened me up where like, you know, I do like, I'm a big believer in the law of attraction and like, you know, like I write my, you know, stuff down. Like I have crazy stories about that. Like, but one of the last things I write is what I'm grateful for. And the first thing I write is I am grateful for my health, because if it wasn't for my health, I wouldn't have been able to gone through treatment so effectively and efficiently without having to prolong it, stop it. I didn't need a blood transfusion, which like the doctors were like, that's super rare.
I pride myself.
Yeah. Like and honestly, like out of all the chemos, like the last thing I want is another person's blood in me. Like, I don't know, that grossed me out, but I didn't.
had to get some when I was younger.
Oh my God. Good.
Yeah.
God bless you. Cause that stuff
All family though. That.
okay. All right. That's different. I will say, like, if I knew where it was coming from, then I'd be like, okay, that's fine. So I guess to your question, like, I knew I was ready, and it kind of just like proved that. And then, which like really gave me more confidence and really made me realize I can have a positive impact on people. And I used to have a lot of imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
But through this situation, it really like leveled up my confidence in a way where I'm like not to be cocky, but like I am him. Like, you know what I mean? Like that mentality. Like, you know, it's like I have enough experience now and evidence that like if I'm telling someone something, it's for good reason or whatever, like in a positive way. But and then to the other side, it was like, I am very grateful for my health, and I have every reason to be grateful for my health and not, you know, dismiss it like I did for years, honestly, you know. So yeah, to answer your question, that.
Yeah. And then I know you said you made that vision board, and then you found all the stuff I write that I'm sure deterred some of those goals you made. Did you stick to any of it, or did you? Because I think some people would rip it up, probably.
Yeah. So on there, like business revenue stuff we did hit, right? Like, which ironically enough, like the what we did last year, I actually wrote that down in 2018. I wrote like I don't love saying it out, but like I used to write down in 2018 have $1 million business by December 31st, 2025. And I wrote that back in 2018. And we did that literally with like by like $5,000 over it in 2025. And like I had that up on my thing to do this year. So that was like one thing that we checked off. And then I had one thing on there. I was like, be under 200 pounds with less than 10% body fat. That did not happen. I gained like 45 pounds during treatment, but in good faith. But what else was on there? I really didn't put that much. There was something else on there, but I can't really remember. I honestly was planning on proposing to my girlfriend last year. So that I think I had something on there, not directly saying it, but for me to know, but that didn't happen because of my whole situation. She still thinks it's BS, but yeah. And then honestly though, like, cause again, like she had a vision where we had in like our apartment, like we looked at her all the time and we threw that shit out. Like we were like, yeah, we were not doing vision boards anymore. Cause she had a bunch of stuff with like doctors and all this stuff. She's like, that is not, she's going to a Stony Brook's accelerated nursing program. So that's why she put it in there. Yeah. She was like, this is not what I meant. So she was like, we're getting rid of that. I'm like, that is fun with me, sister. So yeah, with that, it was like yes and no. But
so I see behind us we have all these pictures here in front of the sweat therapy sign. Tell us a little bit about what that is.
Yeah, so we wanted to, we celebrate our member wins a lot. So we had this board made with the sign. My team got me the sign, the neon sign. And then shout out to our GM's boyfriend, Dan. He actually made like this specific board for us. And, we have our members, we celebrate. Now we celebrate, micro milestones like 10, 25, and 50 sessions. They'll get like a text and a shout out.
Yeah.
Especially because a lot of people come from not working out at all.
Yeah.
It's like, you just did 10 sessions in 2 weeks, or like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And then we want to give them that next goal to catch. So when they hit 100, they'll take a picture with the sign and we'll take it on a Polaroid, and then we go 250 sessions, 500 sessions. And then we have yet to have 1,000 sessions, but I think that's actually going to happen this year. Which is pretty cool, but it's crazy. Cause even at like our end of the year banquet, awards banquet we do for our members, Talia did a whole thing where our top 10 people who came the most, and like our top, I think it was Brenna. I think she came like 336 days. Like there's 365 days in a year. Like some of these people, like they come a lot. It's like insane. So it's cool though. But yeah, it's a big celebration. People look forward to it. And it just gives new members like, they want to get on the wall. Like, that's the whole thing, and we're kind of saying like, the wall might be filled up next year. What are we going to do? It's like, we'll start going on this wall. Like, we'll do something else. But yeah, that's, it's fun. It's cool.
And when you spend so much time, it seems like celebrating other people's wins. Do you celebrate yours too?
Yeah. One thing that I, practice is I'm very blissfully dissatisfied. I learned that from Ed Milet, and I'm like, another thing I write I'm grateful for is my team, like where we are with the fitness studio. But I did have a hard time celebrating wins, and within our culture here at the gym with our team, like we do something called, we say, winners focus on winning. So we even start every meeting with a win. It's like, hey guys, like what's a good win you had? Like big or small, it doesn't matter. Like even if it's like, I woke up this morning, my dog shit on the floor, and my electric was out, but I still went to the gym. Like that's my win for the day. I call those like micro wins. And they stack. But for me personally, like I'll definitely, once I do hit a goal, like I'm like, nice. But then I'm immediately like, okay, like what's the next? What's the next step? Right.
I've been there.
Yeah, no, but it is important. Not like, I think when it comes to like people that are high achievers or want more, it's important to understand blissful dissatisfaction versus like, I'm blissful for everything. I'm happy we're here, but I'm still dissatisfied and I want more, but not being like one quote that, I think I probably teared up when I heard it was through Chris.
Hold on.
I know you're going to pull. I know this isn't quote of the week though. This isn't quote of the week.
I was going to say you have a lot of quotes you're going to be
I was thinking about it. I'm like, shit, I got a bunch I can rattle off. Like, which one do I want to say? Because I watched the other podcast. I was like, I got to think of one. But he said, this, I don't know if that was technically a quote, but he's like, you already achieved goals. You already achieved the goals you said would make you happy. Basically saying like, you already hit the goals that you said you wanted to, that would make you happy, and you're still not happy. And when I heard that, I was like, whoa, like, cause I remember 3-4 years ago saying to myself like, once the gym gets to 250 members, like we're good. And like, now it's just constantly like, now we have this like big, we have like our goals and everything like that. But now being around that 500 mark, it's like, you sometimes have to take a step back. Like, I remember having like 20 clients and it was like, whoa, this is really cool. Yeah. So, definitely taking a moment, celebrating the win, especially when like now in my position, when my team hits the thing, I'm really big with like, let's go. You know what I mean? Shouting people out. So it definitely makes more of an impact too for me. And then it's like, okay, cool. Let's recalibrate. What's the next thing? And, like, as much as I'm blissfully dissatisfied, I make sure I celebrate other people's wins, but it will be a win for me as well.
That's awesome.
With that. Yeah.
Should we do quote of the week?
Quote of the week. Let's jump right into it.
Okay.
We're going to put you on the spot to go first.
So the one quote that I said, to my team. So in April of last year, when I obviously at this point I was on a scooter because my doctor told me like before the tumor was removed, he's like, if you break your fibula, you're making this 100 times worse. So I had to I was walking with a cane for a while, and then eventually I just got a scooter because I broke my foot 11 years
I
ago.
remember that.
Yeah, so with the scooter, I love that thing. So I was like, I'll get a scooter again. And it was the same foot and everything, but we had a team meeting, and a lot of them hadn't really no idea what was going on. I mean, they knew I had a limp and a cane, and then I was on the scooter, and I broke the news to them, and I was like, guys, I'm gonna give you guys up, I'm gonna be going through chemo, blah blah blah. Because with chemo, I didn't step into the business for the entire time.
Yeah.
I didn't come here once. And one thing I told him was, I was like, this applies to the quote, this too shall pass. And I heard that through who's the guy that plays Forrest Gump? Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks. And he said it in some interview, but he was just like, I wish I knew this too shall pass in the good times and the bad times. And that was just the mentality I took through. I mean, pretty much with everything, but in this specific moment of knowing I'm about to endure treatment and everything, it was it's going to pass. And now we're here. It passed. But it's sometimes people don't realize that, in the moment, pain is great. Right. It might last a day. There's even that Eric Thompson, right? Pain will last a day, an hour, or a year. But it's true. Eventually it will pass. And same thing with the good. You'll feel really good. You'll feel the happiest you ever feel. It's going to pass. And then you get back. I call it the state of Zen. You're in Zen, you feel really good, but it's not always the emotion. 24/7. Happiness isn't what people should go after. It should be a state of Zen where you're at peace. And then it's going to go down. It's going to go up, but it will pass. So this too shall pass is my quote.
You're up.
I'm up.
You're up.
Okay. I'm probably not going to say it right, but it's the best view is often gained from the hardest climb. So I love that one. I think we've all gone through some hard things, and often it's unfortunate. Sometimes you have to go through something hard to get to that good stuff. And it often feels a lot better when it was kind of from something hard
Yeah.
So I think if you can tell yourself there's something good waiting for you, no matter what you're going through, or tell that to someone else, that it pushes you a little bit.
Yeah. I love that.
I like it.
Wait, say it again.
The best view is often gained from the hardest climb.
Yeah.
I'm probably saying it wrong, but it's...
It makes sense.
Yeah.
Trust me. No. I think you're right.
That.
Yeah. I love that.
All right. My quote, I'm going to need to explain it a little bit.
Okay.
But my quote is, put it in a box. And this is something that I've had to learn to do, especially going in and out of treatment, especially with my business also, because I'm super hard on myself, especially with the business. I don't meet metrics that I set for myself.
Yeah.
It's the worst ever.
Yeah.
So, but I've learned to kind of put things in a box, right? So sometimes if, I was having a bad treatment week and things just weren't going right, I would put that in a box. There's nothing we could do about that right now. It is the way it is. And I think it's important. Sometimes not only do you have to put stuff in the box, but you got to put the box in the shelf. You got to put the box away. And I try to do it now. It's something that I struggled with when I got back into college roller hockey too. I was always worried about my fitness and my health, and I wasn't able to skate the way I wanted to. I wasn't making plays the way I wanted to. And when I go out and skate and I put my skates on, that's it. All of that other stuff is irrelevant. One, because it shouldn't matter regardless. And also, I can't control it from the deck.
Yeah.
So I say that to myself a lot, especially now with, business and even going through my master's now, I'm having classes that I just don't like. And absolutely brutal stuff. You got to put it in a box, especially when you're doing something else that I think makes you happy or you find worthwhile. You're setting a goal. You got to put the other stuff in a box.
I love that. That's a good one. That is a good one. It's take that emotion, that frustration, put it in a box. It's good. You had it. It's good. Put it on the shelf. We're moving forward.
And I think it's also important, another, I guess, kind of element of the quote is you can always go back to the box. You can always go get the box, so I think people sometimes mistake that for you have to shut off these emotions or shut down the way you're feeling. And you shouldn't feel it.
That's what I thought you were going to. Yeah. That's what my intention was when you said it first, but then when you explained it, I'm like, no.
You could always go back to the box.
Yeah.
You can take it out of the box and you might need to use it for something else that you're being beneficial.
Yeah.
But, it's over there.
Yeah.
It stays over there until you decide that you want to go pick it up.
Because I think a lot of people dwell on it.
Sure.
Like, in a lot of people, and I've coached a lot of people on like that are in leadership roles, like when metrics aren't hit, KPIs, and now especially if their job's tied around performance, like these,
Absolutely.
they get very like, whoa, what? It's like, listen, take that, put it in a box, frustrated, like that's not going to serve you right now, like, and then let's think forward, and so
might be the new better days design. I'm not gonna lie.
yeah,
Box.
yeah, put it in a damn box. Yeah,
Damn box.
I think it correlates with this too shall pass. Like it's all right. Like
absolutely.
Slip to the side. Don't soak yourself in it. Yeah, I love that.
Cool.
Nice.
All right. Do we have any more questions for Nick?
I don't think so. Do you have any questions for us?
So what's your story?
I guess right now, so I'm a social worker.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I'm an elementary school social worker, but my end goal
Oh my
is
God, that's probably so.
It is tough. Yeah.
You probably have a lot of stories.
Yes, yeah, a lot of stories, and actually all through my master's program in schooling, I worked with older kids. So I was at a college, I was at a high school, and now I got a job with younger kids, and it's so different. Like just to talk to someone about what's going on.
Yeah.
Better, like the kids, you really have to
pull
it out of them.
Yeah.
But my end goal, I want to open up a private practice for athletes.
Love that. That's why I asked that questions. And then notice the social worker.
Yeah.
Look at that.
So I played college sports, and like I was a captain on my team. So like everyone looked up to me, and I was struggling.
In
I was like, so cross country and lacrosse.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
But because everyone looked up to me, I was like, I can't show I'm struggling because I'm like giving advice.
Yep.
And, like I can't show I'm not okay. So I kind of want to change that and help athletes speak out. So I'm working for a private practice right now to get my next license to open one up. But
nice.
3,000 hours I need to do that.
Yeah.
So, long time coming. I originally went to school for nursing because I was pretty sick as a kid.
You know, it's funny. Gabby went to school for social work.
Okay. Oh,
and then she switched it.
Wow.
Yeah. She graduated her psychology.
Okay.
Right.
Probably, yeah.
And then got into the social work program.
Okay.
And then she was like, I don't want to do that. And she was like, I want to go to the nursing
wow.
room.
So you both flipped.
Yeah, literally.
But I wanted to become a nurse because I was very sick as a kid. So I was born with neurofibromatosis.
Okay.
So what you can get is tumor growths anywhere on your body. Luckily for me, they're not cancerous, but they can cause significant complications.
Yeah.
So when I was sick, I was born with one on my spine, and it pushed my heart.
Oh my God.
It pushed my spine into my heart and wrapped around it. So I had 2 14-hour surgeries at 6 and 7 years old. So that was my pretty big turning point.
Yeah.
And my doctors were incredible. So I was like, I want to become a doctor now.
Yeah.
But I was like, I can't operate on people. Like that's too crazy. So I was like, let me be a nurse. Did my clinicals, and I just loved talking to patients and kids. So then that's why I went the social work route.
Love that.
Yeah. So that's my story in a nutshell.
The riches are in the niches.
Yeah.
That is a good niche. That's actually, I really like that. Because even with us, like, for the gym, I was always like, should we work with like some type of therapist or something? But it's tough because of like legal, there's like a lot that goes into it. But even just having to like refer some people, because some people talk to you as a personal trainer, and you're like, I am not your therapist, but like I'll open listen to you for the situation.
It's also really hard having that partnership because even though you could have like the best relationship with them here, there's still that stigma that they don't want you knowing they're talking to a therapist.
Exactly.
It's hard because you wish that like we could just be open about like it's okay to talk to someone, you should talk to someone.
Yeah.
But there still is that. And
that's super smart. I love that idea.
So,
I'm all for that.
But even me as like a social worker, like I have trouble like talking to people about my stuff, and I'm like, no, I can't. Like I have to be strong, and I think part of it is my profession because I'm helping so many people that I'm like, I have to have it together for them. But the truth is I don't.
And now you have such a good scope going from adults to kids.
Yeah.
Like
it's a lot hard.
You're like playing the sandbox with them, and it's like, is everything okay?
A lot of it's like coloring with them, and I'll just like joke around with them.
Yeah.
And they're like the 5th graders are like, Miss Earhart, you're so cheesy. Please stop. I'm like, I don't know how to
That's
talk
funny.
Yeah. But yeah, older people, it's easier to be like, what's going on at home? Like, talk to me. The younger kids, it's a lot.
One question. Do you find that younger kids, like in elementary school, know too much information about what's going on in the world and it's affecting them?
Yeah, 100%. And like some of the stuff they'll be like, I was going through last night and I like went on ChatGPT, and it's like the things they're being told, I'm like, don't do that. Like,
oh my God.
So that's tough. And then also kids, like some of the stuff they see with like AI is like just not true, that their imagination is like lying.
Oh my God.
So these kids will tell me things and I'm like, did that happen? Did it not happen? And like,
Yeah.
it's so hard to find out what's true and what's not. But
That's
the stuff they see
crazy.
online is like, they think these things are real and can happen, and they think they're happening, and they're
That's
not.
nuts. Because even with politics and like,
Mhm.
I mean, you probably see in high school, like, I mean, my girlfriend's brother, he's a junior, and I'm like, dude, when I was a junior, I didn't know anything
Mhm.
in who or what
Yeah.
in politics. I didn't care.
No.
I didn't care. I
Yeah.
wanted to talk sports and
Yeah.
whatever.
Who's
Like,
in the playoff?
yeah,
That's all
like
I knew.
Yeah.
not like I'm in the yeah. So I'm very curious, like especially the younger
Mhm.
kids, like yeah, the AI. I didn't even think about that. And
Yeah.
you see bears jumping on
Mhm.
trampolines, and you're like, that's
Yeah,
real.
yeah.
You know what I'm talking
Mhm.
about? Like
And like, you try to tell them that it's not, and they think that you're like
a liar.
a liar.
Yeah.
And like,
That's
how dare
great.
you? And I'm
Oh
like, no, I'm
gosh.
telling you, like, pigs can't fly. Like,
Yeah.
it's,
No, trust me,
yeah.
you're doing the right thing, but
I
you're also in a
try.
really good business.
Yes,
Like so
yeah.
there's two positives there.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, I try.
yeah. All right. I love the podcast. I'm telling you, I got to look up the statistic, but you got the big celebrations once you're past 20 episodes because you're further than,
We'll be a quarter of the way there.
I-
This episode.
I think it's like 90. I'm going to look it up. It's like 90% of podcasts don't even get past 20. So once you do that, you're in the top 10%.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
this is our 5th episode.
Yeah.
This will be our 5th.
Yeah.
when it
So
comes
happy
out,
5th
yeah.
episode.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
But real quick before we go, first I want to say you're a huge inspiration to me in terms of, you know, what you've been able to grow as your business, and especially what you've gone through now. I mean, it's even more relatable.
Yeah. No, exactly.
But before that, you know, I really look up to, you know, the way you've grown as an individual and built this kind of empire. So
I appreciate it, brother.
definitely take pages out of your playbook.
Yeah.
Great.
Nah. We'll keep talking. I got
Absolutely.
ideas for you.
Sounds good, man. I want to
So-
hear all of them. But before we go, tell everybody who may be interested in the trainer page and sweat therapy where they can go, how they can get.
Oh
you.
yeah. So we're in Ronkonkoma. We're large group fitness training, right? Completely beginner friendly. So a lot of people ask, well, what type of workouts do you have? We call it fancy metabolic. Oh my God, I don't even remember what we call it. I used to say metabolic strength training. It's basically a combination of strength training and HIIT, but it's completely beginner friendly. So if you never worked out before, you can work out here. And if you're a savage, you can work out here as well. You get to go at your own pace, and the workouts are designed specifically to do that. You're trained by, there's one trainer, and the training, you know, the group, it could be anywhere from like 20 to 30 people, but our community is super welcoming. Members help members out, and we have 50 sessions a day. So it's very convenient to get here. And, if you want to try a free session, you can either follow us on Instagram and we'll direct message you asking if you want a free session. Our website's thetrainerpage.com, and we have, you know, plenty of buttons to click that will give you a free something to come in, and you'll speak to someone on our team, one of our fitness consultants, and they'll make sure we're the right fit, and then they'll book you in for that free complimentary session.
All right. Sounds good. This episode is going to be available on Spotify and YouTube. Follow us at Resilient Shift Pod on Instagram. Go check out Better Days merch at Better Days Long Island. And we will see you guys for the next episode.
Best hats in the game. This one's
it.
fresh. I like
This
this
is a
one a
good
lot,
one.
honestly. I gotta buy that one.
This is our newest one.
No, you don't send me. I will gladly buy it. But that one.
But I sent you two, and I sent
You sent me this one. No, I originally bought, my girlfriend has a shirt, and I bought the red hat. That's my favorite one, honestly. The red with the red. And then my girlfriend's little brother tried stealing it from me. So I bought him one.
and I sent you that one.
And I bought the USA one, the red, white, and blue, because I love that one. That was like a summer hat.
Go USA tomorrow, by the way.
Oh, yeah,
Yes.
exactly. Gotta wear that one. And then you sent me this one when I bought my,
Yeah.
Yeah, this is good one. This is my
I have a hat thing, and it's literally 60% or 70 or Better Day hat. So
There you go.
yeah,
Appreciate it.
yeah, I gotta cop that one though. That was so good.
Sounds good, man. So thank you guys for watching, and have a great day.
All right, nice.